How's it going, everybody? My name is Johnny's Double, and today I'm excited to bring to you a guide on what I like to call the scrap king and queen of any fight, Zarya and Winston. And I'm going to talk about why I think picking these two characters can sometimes be one of the best options you can make for your team. Now, we are calling this a synergy guide because this is a guide not for people who already know how to play these characters, but people who are looking on how to synergize with these two characters. Because often in this game, people turn out duo queuing or trio queuing more often than they turn out 6 stacking. And there's multiple reasons for that. Sometimes it's simply because it's just hard to find a 6 stack. Which is actually not a bad thing at all. It actually happens to be an advantage, and this is because you don't get matched up against other 6 stacks, and instead you get matched up against mostly solo queuers and occasionally some duo queues. And you can guarantee an advantage over those solo queuers because those guys don't know each other, but you can guarantee synergy between the two of you, and I'm going to help you create that synergy with these guides. Zarya and Winston work really well together because they both complement each other nicely. Zarya thrives in a high damage environment which requires somebody to be in the heart of a battle, and Winston just occupies a lot of space, and with Zarya's bubbles and his bubble, he can take up a lot of space. The bully nature of Zarya and Winston's engages can be really intimidating and therefore perfect for being the spearhead and the leaders of a fight, which is one of the responsibilities of a tank, and that's something that I'm going to go over in a bit. And when both tanks are communicating and are on the same page about an engagement, this creates a natural synergy with the team, and I'll explain why. The bully nature of Zarya and Winston's engages can be really intimidating, but therefore perfect for being the spearhead and the leader of a battle, which is one of the responsibilities as a tank. And that's something I'm gonna go over in a bit. And when both tanks are communicating back and forth between each other and are both on the same page when initiating a fight, you guys can create a natural synergy with the rest of the team, and this is going to give you an advantage over the opposing team, because a team divided is no team at all, and maybe the other two tanks aren't communicating as well as you guys.
Are we all here? Are we all here?
No, those is hitting me over there like a hit scan.
Let's move up this side. Left side, come. Nice. Lucio, Lucio's almost dead. Need heals.
Lucio's dead, denied.
Now I'm going to define spearheading for the sake of the video if you haven't already guessed it. Spearheading in Overwatch is being at the front of a battle, the fight initiators, and the bullies on your team that's going to push the other team back and create space for your DPS to take some picks and your healers to follow through and support the rest of your team, meaning your DPS and yourselves, the tanks. Now, the reason I said you two as tanks are going to create a natural synergy with your team is because as a DPS or a healer, you're not going to watch your two tanks move into a fight and not follow through with them. They are your protection, and therefore you're going to follow through with them. If both tanks are moving in together, the rest of the team should be moving in as well. This, consequently, will make you the leaders of a fight. Your goal as a tank is to create space, put pressure on the enemy team, spearhead and lead the fights, and initiate engages. Space is going to be created by your presence and the shields you guys have. If you got two tanks coming directly at you, that's a scary thing, and you guys are going to be effectively creating pressure on the enemy team when you do this, and this is exactly what a tank is supposed to do. Now, it's hard to give advice on exactly what you should do in a fight, but there are some things that are true in every fight, is that there's characters often separated off to the side, and because of this reason, Winston and Zarya are perfect for this kind of instance. If there is an Ana in the backline, have Winston diver. He can take her out in a matter of seconds between Zarya's bubble and his bubble. How I like to do this with my buddy is I usually say bubble in 3, meaning I'm going to have my bubble in 3, 2, 1, and then Winston dives at that second. He lands first, he probably gives me some charge, and then Winston takes her out right away. This is an example of Winston and Zarya bullying. When the fight is in full swing, there's two things that Winston and Zarya should be doing: bullying and bodyguarding your teammates. Now, I want to put an emphasis on the word bullying because often at times this really does feel this should be what tanking is, and it means getting in your face, getting in the enemy's face, pushing to the side and putting pressure on them. And this is how you're going to be leading your team. Now, keep that word in mind because this is what the other tanks in the team are going to be doing. So part of your job as a tank is also to bodyguard your team. Bodyguarding your team should essentially be the same thing, same principle, and that means getting in the face of the enemy that's attacking your teammates. Now, to quickly summarize what I just spoke about, you guys are going to be bullies by initiating, creating space, and effectively supporting your team, and more importantly leading your team, and secondly, you guys are going to be bodyguards. By protecting your team, by getting in the enemy's face that's attacking your teammates together. Now, doing things together is what's going to win you fights. Initiating the fight together, spearheading the fight together, bullying the other team together, protecting your teammates together is going to give you the advantage over the other team. Having that constant communication back and forth of, yo, Arana's getting attacked, or let's pounce that Hanzo, or let's put pressure on this Roadhog, is what's going to win you the fight. And that's because you're both tanks. Now, as I was doing this guide, I realized this tanking guide is something that could be applied to almost all the tanks. The reason I like Zarya and Winston together is because of their mobility and the fact that Zarya can really wedge herself into a fight, and Winston's a lot of pressure, and that together makes them the scrap king and queen of any fight and really good at any brawls, which makes them really advantageous in a King of the Hill map or complementing any dive comp in any other kind of game mode. Boom, there you have it guys, my tanking guide more than anything that could be applied to any tanks, but mostly to my Zarya and Winston, who are my favorite tanks. Now, the goal of this guide was to create synergy between you and your partner. Even if you don't agree with everything in this guide, I want you to share it with your partner or whoever you usually duo queue with, and watch how it invokes a conversation between the two of you about synergy, and watch it create naturally a synergy between the both of you. Watching the video will put both of you on the same page and same mentality with going into the fight, and when the both of you are the leaders of a fight and you're versing a whole bunch of solo crews who don't know each other and probably aren't on the mic, believe me when it's going to give you the advantage. And if I did that, I think I did my job. Once again guys, my name is Johnny's Double, and thank you for listening.